Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now, with today's video we will be having a look at Bullseye. He's a hero that I've had quite a lot of requests for. I think a lot of people are very intrigued to see how low down on the tier list he does fall, because I will say straight off he's not the most fantastic of characters. Now, in the video we will start off with an overview. This includes where you go to unlock him and also his tags. We then check out his stats. Next up it's the abilities. We then look at the synergies. This is characters he can work well with and characters you want to avoid. And then we finish up seeing where he places in the tier list. So we'll start off then with the general overview. Bullseye then is a character that you will unlock very early in the campaign. He's one of the almost starter characters of the likes of the Shield Medic and Punisher and Luke Cage. Now, he is a single target character, he's got no AoE in his kit at all. If we look at his tags, it's Villain, City, Skill, Blaster and Mercenary. Now we know that we do have a Mercenary event, that's the payday event, so for that reason you possibly do want to level him up, because it means you can get more money in time as you can go up higher ranks in this event. You've also got the Blaster tag, which is relevant to the Blaster challenge, and a lot of people are having trouble with that. I do feel now that we've got Cable as well, that you don't necessarily maybe need Bullseye anymore, but later on we will put up a video where we'll break that down in more depth. Other tags which are relevant are the City one. That's another one that I believe in time we will have an event based around, so that's something to bear in mind. If we look at where you go to unlock them, it's Heroes 2.6, nice and early, and also Villains 1.3, which is really nice and early as well there. Now, with that general overview covered, we will have a look at his stats. For the stats here, we have 6 in total we'll have a look at, so it's 3 offensive stats and then 3 defensive stats, and we'll start off with the offensive stats. Bullseye is a blaster class then, so that means from an offensive perspective he should do better than some of the other characters such as controllers and support. Now when we look at his damage, it's up at B, so it's certainly on the higher side. His speed is very much middle of the road, that's on C, and then his focus is E. Now his focus is your chance to apply debuffs. Bullseye doesn't actually have any, so it's irrelevant the fact this is so low. So the stats you're really looking at are the damage at B and the speed at C. He does also have, as part of his kit, a high crit chance on various skills as well as additional crit damage, and that is something we'll look at more when we do get to the abilities section. Now for the next part of the video we'll actually have a look at his defensive stats. Now, as much as Bullseye is a blaster class, which genuinely means they're glass cannon and that they'll do high damage and have low defense, he really is very low on the defensive side of things. His health is way down at F, so it's one of the lowest health pools in the game. Now on characters that's normally offset by one of the other stats such as armour, but we can see he's actually got pretty low armour as well, that's down at C. And then finally he also has low resistance, that's way down at D, so that means he will be more susceptible to debuffs. That includes stuns and slows and bleeds and so on. Now with a lot of characters, when their defensive or offensive stats are low, there's normally other parts of their kit that will pull that up. With Bullseye, unfortunately he's got nothing else from a defensive perspective in his kit that can help out his low stats here. Now next up anyway, what we'll do is we'll have a look at his abilities. For the abilities we have 4 in total to look at. We have 3 active ones, that's the basic, special and ultimate, and then we have the passive as well. Now I will show off the tooltip for the skill maxed out. This information was previously available in game, and with the Deadpool patch we can now only see up to level 6 for active skills and level 4 for passives. However, the information is also available via msf.gg. Given the fact that it was available in game at one point and it's available via that site, that's the reason why I'm still showing it off. I don't want to change the format of the video midway through. Now in regards to the first ability that we will look at, this is the passive. This is called Never Miss. So with this, when it's maxed out, you would gain 10% accuracy, all allies gain 10% accuracy, and then finally mercenary allies gain 10% crit damage. Now in regards to how high you want to level this, this is actually a first but I'd personally recommend leaving this at level 1. Now at level 1 you still gain the 10% crit damage for mercenary allies, and what you lose is the 10% accuracy to yourself and also the 10% accuracy to other allies. Now the majority of characters start off with 100% accuracy. There's a few exceptions. Daredevil has 200, Bullseye actually has 130 himself. Now when you're blinded you lose 100% accuracy, so this would mean for regular allies, if they're blinded, if you have Bullseye in your team with this passive upgraded, they will gain 10% accuracy, so it's only 10% they would have in total. Simply not worth the materials there for a 1 in 10 chance to hit an enemy when blinded. With Bullseye, if he was blinded he would move from 30%, which is a 1 in 3 chance to still hit, to 50%. Again, it's simply not worth the materials to upgrade this, and I'm hoping this passive sees a massive overhaul in time. For the basic, we have a skill called Throwing Knife. Now when maxed out, you attack the primary target for 270% damage. The attack cannot miss, though it can be dodged. I'll tell you what that means in just a moment. And you gain 20% crit chance for this particular attack. Now the scaling on it when you do upgrade it is actually pretty good, so if you're crazy enough to be putting resources into Bullseye, then you may as well max out this particular skill. Now one thing I'll mention about it, and this is where his kit starts to fall down a little bit more, is that it's got the fact that the attack cannot miss, though it can be dodged, and it can also be evaded as well. Now if an attack cannot be missed, that means if you are blinded then you will still hit the target with it. Now that doesn't make sense when we think back to his passive, which actually increases his accuracy, because for this particular skill there's no need for him to have that increased accuracy, because regardless what his accuracy is, with this particular skill he will hit the enemy as long as they don't dodge or evade it. What this skill really needs is for it to be replaced with unavoidable, the same as Hawkeye, and that would mean that it can't be dodged, it can't be evaded. You could have a chance of missing if you were blinded, but this is where the passive would then be useful, because the additional accuracy would pull Bullseye's accuracy up. I hope that all makes sense then anyway. Now let's check out the special. The next skill we look at then is called Card Trick. This takes 3 turns to charge and comes fully charged. Now with this, when you max it out, you attack the primary target for 230% damage and you have a 25% crit chance. Now his base crit chance is 10%, so that means when you use this there's a 35% chance for a crit on it. If you max it out as well, then you have an 80% chance to gain a bonus attack for 190% damage, and that skill has a 40% chance to crit. So add in his 10% base, you're looking at a 50% chance there. Now if you get both attacks and you get both of them to crit, of course it's absolutely fantastic, but there's just so many variables in that happening. First you've got the 1 in 3 chance for the crit on the primary attack, then you've got a 4 out of 5 chance for a bonus attack when it's maxed out, and then you've got a 1 out of 2 chance for the actual crit on the bonus attack. There's just simply too many variables, and this can be a skill that can do a heap of damage or it can do a minimal amount. There's too much variance in the amount of damage that it can do. Regarding how high you want to take it, like the last skill, one of the few benefits of it is that it does actually scale pretty well. So again, if you're crazy enough to be leveling up Bullseye, then by all means you want to max this out. For the ultimate, we have another skill here that does have the potential to be nice, but it's not quite there. This is called Kill Shot. Now I love the animation on it. This one, it takes 4 turns to charge, and I believe it's the first skill I've covered that actually comes with 0 charges at the start. Now I don't think I've ever seen the little bar that's just all grey. Normally we've got 1 or 2 orange pips in there because the skill is partially charged. Now if you were to max it out, again similar to the other skills, it does scale well, so if you're leveling them then by all means do max it out. But if you were to max it out, you would attack the primary target for 550% damage, you gain a 30% crit chance, so that would be 40% in total, and then it does 20% crit damage for this particular attack. Now once you do get the attack off, it can do a nice amount of damage again, especially if it does crit, but you've got the less than 1 in 2 chance for it to crit, and you've got the fact that it takes 4 turns to charge, and Bullseye's exceptionally squishy, so in most instances he'll be down by the time his 4th turn comes round. All they need to do to really make this better is up the crit chance a little bit more, and give it some charges to start off with. If we think of the likes of Winter Soldier, he has utility in his kit and he starts off with an awesome ultimate. Why can we not start off with this particular skill? This would pull him way up the ratings, and it's something I hope they'll actually do in time. Now, with the abilities covered, we'll have a look at his synergies. When we look at characters he can work well with, we have three real categories here. The first one is Black Widow and Merc Lieutenant. They can help up his very mid-tier speed. You then have Kingpin and Korath. They can work well with him as they have attacks that are weighted towards assists with mercenaries. And then finally you have Iron Man and Gamora, because a lot of his damage comes from the fact he has the crit, and through their passive they can increase the crit chance of allies, so that can make his damage a bit more consistent. Now, next up anyway, we'll look at the enemies you want to avoid. When we look at characters you want to avoid, first off you have ones that can act quicker than him and do a high amount of damage on their first turn, because due to his low health and low armour, he can get burned down really quick, although there really is no need to burn them down quick because the ultimate takes so long to charge. But characters that would fall into that category would include Gamora, Daredevil and Korath. Now, the next set of characters that includes Hawkeye, Nebula and Spider-Man. The reason they are there is the one part of his kit that makes him slightly unique is the fact that on his basic it cannot miss. However, it can be evaded, and that would include Nebula, and it can be dodged, which would include Spider-Man, and then finally he still has a chance to miss when blinded, and that's where Hawkeye would come in there. So I'm hoping, again I've mentioned it already, but I'm hoping in time we'll see something like Unavoidable added to all his attacks. That would make a lot more sense. Now, with that covered, we'll see where he places on the tier list. For this tier system here, we have 5 different ratings. The most powerful characters are on the left hand side and they're classed as Omega. As we go from left to right, the characters get weaker until we are all the way down at level 1, and Scientist Supreme is sitting there on her own at the moment. Now, in regards to Bullseye, I would say he's most definitely a level 2 character. This is not one that I had to spend a lot of time trying to think what rating he would be. If we look at his positives, they are few. You've got his tags firstly, you've got the Mercenary and the Blaster tag. That's useful for the difficult challenge, the Blaster challenge, and also you've got the Mercenary Payday event, which gets you extra gold there, which everyone always needs. You've got the fact that it does have a potential for high damage, but this is when we then come to his negatives. Now, his damage is far too reliant on crits, so it's really spiky. It can be really low his damage or really high. There's no real way to actually guarantee that you can put out a nice amount of damage. If you do team him up, of course, with some of the characters we talked about in synergies such as Gamora or Iron Man, that can help out, but even still, at most you'll have a 1 in 2 chance to do a nice amount of damage. Now, other downsides, you've got his low attack speed, you've got his low defense, and he's not really got any part of his kit that makes up with it. In most classes, if they have low health, for example, they might have some dodge or they might have some armor to make up for it. He simply doesn't have that. You've got his passive with the buff to accuracy, which is nigh on useless, and then finally you've got the strange tagging of his skills, and only his basic has the cannot miss tag, which is a pretty useless option, and then his special and ultimate don't have any tags like that at all. And as far as I'm aware, Bullseye got his name because he cannot miss. So yeah, not really a great character at all. One that they wouldn't actually take a great deal of changes to pull him up to level 3 and maybe even alpha, so fingers crossed in time we will see that. Now, just before we finish up this video, I will mention that I put up a poll in the community section of my channel in regards to looking for your thoughts with me live streaming at some point in the future. Now, from some of the comments I've seen, I don't think I was entirely clear what I was looking to do here. Now, the in-depth reviews will be finished. I'm not going to stop them halfway through. I am going to cover some minions as well. That would include Hand Sentry and Merc Lieutenant. So the live streams are something that I'll look to do after every in-depth review for a named character is finished, as well as some of the more interesting minions as well. So if you like the sounds of that, check out the community tab and please feel free to leave a vote there. Other than that, thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll see you all again soon.